Okay, I know I said I wouldn't do any videos for a while and I just wanted to enjoy the game, but I'm playing on a crappy laptop. I've been experimenting with settings a lot to try to squeeze the best performance I could out of it, and I found a couple things that really improved how my game runs, so I figured it might be helpful to my fellow potato gamers, so I'm just back for this video. And I'm kinda retracting what I said in my review, that I found the gunfights a bit sluggish, not very snappy or immersive. It actually had a lot to do with input lag, mouse acceleration and overall performance, and it's mostly solved now and it feels so much better. I will go over what you need to do if you have the same issue a bit later in the video. Before we start, there's no universal solution for all systems. Everybody's gonna have a different experience. So I'm gonna share what worked for me first, and after that a ton of tips and tweaks you can try that didn't do any difference for me, unfortunately, but that you should try if everything else is not working, because who knows, shit is weird sometimes. And we already have mods for the game, which is kinda crazy when you think about it, so we're gonna try this too. Okay, let's go. And sorry AMD users, there's still gonna be some tips for you here and there, but it's mainly gonna be a video for NVIDIA boys. So after reading a lot and doing some research, the general consensus seems to be this. If you have a 30 series card and above, go with DLSS as your upscaler. If you're slightly below that, like in a 20 series, you should still try DLSS, but give TSR a go, because it's apparently not that bad. And below that, you cannot use DLSS. TSR is probably gonna be a bit rough, so try FSR with FrameGen. I'm playing on a laptop with a 360, which puts me in a weird position, because my 360 is only like 60% of a real desktop 360, which is right on the cutoff between choosing TSR or DLSS. And I think a lot of people with low to mid-tier specs are in the same position. We are not playing on full-on potatoes, but it's still not great. So I decided to try both extensively, just to be safe. And I read somewhere that because of consoles, FSR is really well optimized, so even though it's more of an AMD thing, I decided to try it too, even though it doesn't really make sense. I don't have anything to lose at this point. Long story short, with exactly the same settings, everything on medium and quality mode, just to get a baseline and start testing different things after that. FSR is shit. I mean, you get good performance with FrameGen, yes, without it it's not even that good, but the game looks disgusting anyways, and we'll talk more about FrameGen later because that's a whole other can of worms. DLSS and TSR are actually really close, so close it's hard to tell a difference on short scenes like this. By the way, I'm not gonna show you before and after shots like this for every setting to compare everything. It's gonna be a lot of trust me bro, because I just want to go play the game and not spend 3 days editing this video. And deep down, I'm hoping big optimization patches are coming soon, so this will make all of this less critical. So DLSS and TSR are very close on paper, but adding frame averages and 1% loss on longer gaming sessions to have a better idea of the big picture, DLSS has slightly better performance, is more stable and has better frame times overall. We're gonna talk about frame times more extensively later because it's very important. But if you can use DLSS, I'd advise you to do so. And after a lot of tinkering, here are my final settings, that I think are the best compromise between performance and look, for my fellow potato gamers of course. If you can run quality mode for the Upscaler, do it, the game really looks nicer. But if you can't, I don't think balance is worth it. It's the worst of both worlds. Just go straight to performance and enjoy the better performance. That's what I'm doing personally. And I was tempted to slap FSR frame generation on top of everything, but yeah, that thing is an abomination. Yes, it gives a lot of extra FPS, but look at this. This is an extreme example of course, but that's basically what's happening to everything in the world when you're looking around. I personally hate how it makes the game look, so I'll leave it off. So the conclusion is pretty much this. Yes, it kinda looks obvious now that we look at it, but I had to check, okay? The last thing I wanted to check, mainly for people with very low specs that don't have DLSS available, what's better? TSR on low settings or FSR with higher settings and FrameGen? Because FrameGen still looks disgusting, but a bit less because we are using it with the intended upscaler. And yeah, TSR on low still looks better and sharper with less artifact than FSR on high. But I guess if you really don't have a choice and cannot run TSR with a decent frame rate, well yeah, go with FSR. In the display tab, make sure you're in full screen exclusive, and nobody likes a very narrow field of view, but keep in mind the bigger it is, the worse your performance will be. And I personally cap my frame rate at 60, but you can leave this at no limits, and no VSync of course. With these settings, I'm averaging 40 FPS, which is not amazing, but with a perfectly stable frame time, which wasn't the case before, and it actually makes the game enjoyable to play. Without going full nerd on this, let's just say that FPS are raw performance and frame time is more how smooth the game feels. Good FPS and bad uneven frame times will feel very stuttery. That's why consoles with game locked at 30 FPS but with good optimization and frame times can feel very smooth, for example. And even if I rarely get them, I play on a 60Hz monitor, so I kept my frames at 60 and I'm aiming for a 70 millisecond frame time. It will fluctuate of course, but the more stable this line is, the smoother your game will feel. Okay, now let's talk about the shooting feeling a bit sluggish. There's only two things to do. First, make sure that low latency is turned on. The game tends to turn it off every time you restart it, so I'd recommend you to turn it on for good in your NVIDIA control panel or in the GeForce app. After that, you need to go find your input file and paste this into it. I will leave all the details in the description. This will remove the mouse acceleration, smoothing, input lag nonsense, and suddenly it feels like you actually control your character. Aiming and shooting feels 1,000 times better. This is a game changer. There's already a couple mods available for performance improvements. Honestly, I'm not expecting much right now from them. I'm mainly waiting for an update from the devs. I tried this one just to see, and because it was very easy to install. I can't really feel a difference or see one in the numbers. That's not really surprising. It might make the interiors run a tad smoother actually, but that's the only thing I noticed. Okay, and now here's a list of random tips that apparently helped some people getting a better performance. They didn't do anything for me unfortunately, but because things are weird and random and highly dependent on your specs, who knows, it might still help a little bit. Okay, number one, you can try to add this in your launch options in Steam. Apparently it's to make sure that your game uses your CPU and memory fully or whatever. Number two, in the NVIDIA control panel, making sure that your power management is set on performance and the texture filtering quality is on performance also. Number three, in the GeForce app, I've seen some people saying to put VSync in fast mode, which doesn't make any sense because it's something to do if you have extra frames to spare, which is the opposite of our situation, but I've seen a couple guys saying this, so who knows. And I've seen people put it in adaptive half refresh, which makes more sense technically, but still, I tried both and yeah, it makes no difference to me, at least. And as a last resort, I can point you toward this Steam guide. Again, all links will be in the description. I didn't try any of this because it's a bit of a nuclear option, like completely disabling ray tracing, lumen and so on. But if you're really struggling to run the game, it might be a last resort kind of thing. Okay, I think that's it. If you have some other tips, please share them in the comments because I'm kinda trying everything right now, so who knows. But I'm already having a blast with the game. Just give me better performance and real life and I'll be a happy man.